Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to continue our series on personal protective equipment. Today we're going to focus on helmets. I'm going to talk today about the helmet that I prefer to use for everything except for water rescue. Okay? That's pretty much covers everything, as you'll see here in a moment. Just going to mention a little bit of my history. I've been wearing helmets for emergency rescue since 1979. I've worn the federal helmets, which very few people probably will be familiar with that helmet, but it was like a half motorcycle helmet with a brim on the front and then a connection for a shield. Looked more like a riot helmet than anything else, and then snaps on the back of the helmet for a brim. So it made it look more like the German army helmets from the 1940s, without getting into the N-word there. Possibly getting roasted by YouTube for it. And then the Cairns, depends on what part of the United States you're from and how that gets pronounced. The 770s, 660, 660 Metro, and then also the traditional style helmet based on the leather helmet. So I've worn all those firefighting helmets for different times of the years when I was in the fire service. And this is my preferred helmet over anything else, based on what we'll get into here momentarily. It's a Phenix Technologies First Due helmet, model 1500. That model number varies between the helmets depending on the features. It's a high temperature thermoplastic shell with a closed cell energy impact cap. Since I'm talking about that, I'll just point that out while I'm talking about it. Hard shell, and then you can see this white impact cap on the inside there. That's a closed cell for padding. So if it comes in contact with your head, at least you got a little bit of padding in there. It's got a ratchet suspension. That's probably one of the most important features besides the certifications that it meets is the ratchet. If you get one of those helmets, what I call a headache helmet, where it's got the strap instead of the ratchet in the back, it's got these two straps that overlap each other, and then these round teeth push up through the other half of the strap. You're buying a headache helmet if you get one of those. Don't waste your money. If you got to wait until next payday to get something with a ratchet, then wait till next payday to get the ratchet. It's going to be worth it. In terms of comfort, it just can't be matched to have a helmet like this. For firefighters, if you're wearing a Nomex hood, you're gonna want to adjust this in or out, depending on what's going on there. With the hood on or off, you can wear this helmet comfortably, and it'll always fit your head really well with a ratchet strap. If you don't have the ratchet strap, it's gonna be a real pain in the butt. So don't get anything except for a ratchet strap helmet, whatever helmet you're getting there. And then this helmet has a low center of gravity on it. It sits nice and low, especially if you adjust the suspension that way to sit low on your helmet. And then, like you get this brim here, creates that shadow here, helps keep sun out of my eyes, like we have here in Florida. It's got several different ways of adjustments. There are adjustment tabs inside here. You can't see it because of the way the suspension's set up, but there are adjustment tabs to adjust this liner here up or down on your head, the same way that you have with where these suspension straps here are. Okay, so there's I think there's 3 different ways that you can adjust this, including the ratchet. And then for chin strap, it's got the standard firefighting. Every firefighting helmet I've ever worn had this. I think they call it a postman's clasp or whatever it is on there. This is what I'm used to wearing. If you're considering this helmet for firefighting, you want to get where they click in that buckle type, because you're going to want to be able to do that and bring it up under your air pack. Okay, so if you got this on your chin, this is not going to go around your air pack. You'll have to feed your mask up through this. Okay. Instead, you want the strap where it's a buckle. You can pull that up under your SCBA mask. Okay, and then let's talk about standards Like this meets an NFPA standard 1971-2015. It's not certified by NFPA. It's certified to an NFPA standard by the company. Okay, so you get that. This helmet meets that standard. The NFPCA 1977 or 77, ANSI Z89 Class D, Cal OSHA T 83403 1988, and then US OSHA 29 CFR 1910.156, and then I think that's a 1987 standard. And then let's talk about the importance of your helmet choice. I know a lot of people doing technical large animal rescue, they go and buy a horse riding helmet. That horse riding helmet doesn't meet any of the standards, as far as I know, for doing rescue work. And if you do rescue work, your state may require you to meet certain helmet specifications based on the type of work you're doing. And I don't know of any horse rescue, or not horse rescue, but horse helmet that meets rescue standards. Okay? And if you're doing technical rescue, and large animal rescue is considered technical rescue by the NFPA, you may have to meet NFPA standards for technical rescue in terms of PPE before you do those rescues, or whoever you're working for could be in for serious liability or big fines. All right, so consider that when you're picking out a helmet to protect your own personal head. Is what standards is it certified to, and do they meet your needs for doing technical rescues out in the field? Okay, this helmet, I'm just going to go into this here now. I think I've addressed that pretty well. So the reasons that I wear this helmet: first, it's comfortable. I have worn this helmet for hours and hours at a time, 4, 5, 6 hours. The only time I felt like I needed to take the helmet off is like, you know, when your helmet gets a little bit warm inside, you'll want to take the helmet off, scratch your hair up a little bit, and then put the helmet back on. But this helmet is really great for that. When I put it on, I can feel the weight here in my hands, really oddly. And as soon as I put that helmet on my head, I hardly even notice it's there, especially once I get it adjusted. I've used this in confined spaces, such as coal mines, caves, crawl spaces, like attics and under houses where it's pretty tight in there. In vehicles performing patient care. Some of those cars I've been in, there's just enough room for me to fit inside there and start working on a patient. And I've used this helmet just fine in there. And then for all fires a fire department might respond to, that you know, car fires, house fire, structure fire, whatever, car accidents, that kind of thing. And then also like rope rescue, going down in the storm sewers here. So you got all the water that drains off the streets down into those drainage systems that you have in the city, on like on the curb there. That is, I've worn this helmet down in there for those kind of incidents. The only type of fire department incident that I've never used this at is for a large aircraft. However, I've worn a helmet just like this for helicopters that crashed off the base there. Okay, and you know, if you're doing crash rescue, you need a proximity suit. This isn't going to cut it. If you're around an aircraft that has a high fuel load, you're just not going to be able to get near it. Okay, and then, you know, so we're going to go back to like the different types of helmets. There are rope or technical rescue helmets that don't have a brim on them, and then some of them have vents in different locations on the helmet. Being here in Florida, I've used various helmets with vents on them, particularly like a water rescue helmet where it's vented so water can pass through it rapidly, and I haven't noticed any difference in terms of comfort and heat down here. When it's hot and humid, it's just hot and humid. The vent on the helmet never made a difference to me in my experience. However, let's do this. I'm going to move this up here a little bit so we can look at the brim of this helmet. It's hard to see, I know, because this light's in the way, but you can see there's a brim that comes out across here. And it's designed in firefighting to shed water right off of there, so it does, hot steaming boiling water that's coming from inside a fire that's now rolling back on top of you doesn't get down your jacket or your collar particularly. And so if I have vents in this helmet, I'm subject to sun coming in and baking my head, rain and the heavy rains that we get down here, and I'll talk about those in just a moment, and then debris. If I'm down in a storm sewer and I've got the fire department assisting me and they're up above, oftentimes somebody's working around the entrance to that section that I'm working in, and there's almost always sand and gravel and leaves and all kinds of other debris there that gets kicked down when others are up above me. That this prevents this from going down in my shirt collar. I think it's really important it's a rescue personnel be comfortable while they're doing the rescue, and they don't have like a bunch of junk down their neck. It can be really uncomfortable and distracting when you really want to be focused on a rescue. Okay. And then in the rain, I want to put this footage up here where you can see the rain is shedding off of here just like it's supposed to be doing. In Florida, we can get some unbelievable amounts of rain on an afternoon storm here. And then I'm going to put this meme up that just so you can have a laugh at Florida's weather here. We can have, it's 80 degrees and sun shining and beautiful skies, not a cloud in the sky. And then 15 minutes later, it looks like a hurricane's hitting here. And we're just getting drenched with unbelievable amounts of water. And then 15 minutes later, it's back to sunshine and no clouds in the sky. Okay. Let's see what else I want to say about this helmet. Okay, I just talked about the water, debris, and then the longer back here. Let me say that, just see if I can point that out real quick. The longer back, the longer brim on the helmet here, it's not much longer than this hard hat that I'm putting up. However, it's better because it's longer. And so when you've got your head, look at this in my hand. When you've got your head tilted and you're doing rescue work like that, the head as that tilts, all of a sudden this doesn't provide as much protection. So I want this as long as possible, but still to stay compact like this helmet is. And then I get much more protection on it longer when I'm using my, moving my head up and down like that. And then also remember, you're counting on your jacket to this to shed the water down onto the collar of your jacket and then away from you. Okay, so pick your jacket accordingly. I guess I'll have to do a video on that. Let's see, what else is there? There are other configurations this helmet's capable of. You can see this strap here is it's actually made for a full brim hard hat. However, it worked on here to hold the goggles in place. One of the options that Phenix Technologies has is there's these little brackets that come off of here where the helmet snaps onto that. Okay, or the helmet. Not the helmet. The goggles snap onto that with a grommet. But I prefer this. I like this because I can get these back here. I don't have to worry about them. And they stay out of my way unless I need them. Okay. So remember, this is an MSA strap that's made for full brim helmets, but it works. And then since we're talking about PPE here, and then I want to mention goggles. Goggles are really important if you're going to be around anywhere that has a lot of wind, or more importantly, if you're going someplace where you expect to do helicopter operations or work around a helicopter. You need goggles, because if you have just glasses or safety glasses, sunglasses, whatever, debris can blow straight up under there, ricochet off of the lens and go straight into your eye. If you've got goggles on, your eyes are sealed inside there. Okay, that's really important. That's why I have goggles. I'd rather just use goggles, because oftentimes when I need eye protection, it's not on that long anyway. And goggles. Don't know what else to add to that. And then another thing I think is really important is being able to be easily identified on the scene of an emergency. We're quite often working with fire departments, and so I want our helmets to look distinctly different than any of the other fire departments in the local area. So our shields are colored different, and that's intentional, but that's to help easily identify us, so somebody can take a quick glance, look at that, and know that it's animal rescue. None of the other departments use orange out in the field for their working crews, so that's why we pick orange. Plus, it's just a good, easily identifiable color, and then you want conspicuously tape on there in various locations to make it easier for you to find somebody to find you if you go unconscious for whatever reason, partially get buried. Firefighters' eyes are tuned into this reflective material here, so if they're looking for you, they know that's on your equipment. They're going to look for that, and hopefully this will help them find you. And then the other thing that you want on your helmet is a light. You're going to absolutely want a headlamp, helmet light, whatever you want to call it, on your helmet, so you can be hands-free. And you need one that's got, and I'll do another video on this separately, but you want something that's got a spot and a flood feature. This has both on it. And then this one's designed for firefighting, so it's intrinsically safe. So it's rated to work in certain explosive environments. And then the back here, it has either a steady burning or a flashing green light. So if you're following somebody, it helps you easier to keep track of where they are. Okay. Oh, the other thing is this is Nomex ear protection here. That'll come down and cover your ears and your neck. Probably on the average day, you're not going to need that. However, like in some of these, I went to a rescue school up in South Carolina when it was cold up there, and I used that to keep my ears covered, and keep me comfortable. Okay, I think I pretty much covered everything there is that's important about this helmet. Everything that I've said in this video is why I choose this helmet over any of the other helmets out there in the field, as far as animal rescue goes. Because I'm also since I'm a former firefighter, if I see I'm not going to be like the hero dude, but if I see a situation where I can get in there quickly and help rescue somebody out of a burning structure or whatever, whatever the situation is, I know my helmet's rated for that type of rescue. Okay. If you have any questions, put it down in the comment section of the video. Since you're watching this on YouTube, you know what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to like the video and make sure you subscribe to our channel. I can't tell you how important that is. And then also check out our website over there. Go and subscribe to our blog. That way you'll get notifications about videos like this and other stuff that we post up there. Okay? That's it.